I have always loved Meta Knight, ever since I first encountered his mysterious masks and challenged me for a duel during the events of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. I have had an absolute fascination for him. When I finally defeated him in Star Allies and could add him to my team, I did not hesitate to do so immediately. And there are few cooler introductions than him fighting Marth in the story mode of Brawl. The truth is that we don't know much about Meta Knight. His appearances and behaviors are really complex to interpret, and so the question remains, is he a hero or a villain? Welcome to Rebel Culture, where today we will analyze the character of Meta Knight to try to answer that question. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button and consider subscribing. We have tons of Kirby content that you might enjoy, like what if Kirby enemies were Pokemon, or the references to cosmic horror in the series. But now, let's start with the first question. The acts of Meta Knight in his early appearances in the Kirby franchise might lead some to believe that Meta Knight is a straight-up villain. In Kirby's adventure, Meta Knight is presented as a boss, guarding a piece of the Star Rod, entrusted to him by King Dedede, and he and his army of Meta Knights fight Kirby throughout the levels. This leads to the sub-game, where he is featured as the main antagonist, called Revenge of Meta Knight, where he tries to invade Dreamland aboard his battleship Halberd. In this sub-game, Meta Knight is once again depicted as a downright villain, not just to Kirby, but to the entire country, including King Dedede. Acts like those might make us believe that he is in fact a villain. In Kirby's adventure, he certainly behaves as just another of King Dedede's lackeys, and so does his band of Meta Knights. And in Revenge of Meta Knight, he behaves not only as a villain, but as a double-crossing villain, since the invasion of Dreamland that he intends goes straight against the rule of King Dedede. However, it is not so clear-cut. For example, in the original Kirby's Adventure from 1993, Meta Knight would provide Kirby throughout the game with invisibility candies and other goodies to smooth out the process of the game, meaning that, at least in that game, his allegiance to King Dedede was already faltering. Something that might lead to his eventual breakup with the Monarch that we see in the Revenge of the Meta Knight. Also, lots of players believe that Meta Knight might have actually infiltrated King Dedede's army, and his fights against Kirby were actually intended to test the young hero and train him to defeat the true evil of the game, the Evil Nightmare. Another point to the fact that Meta Knight might be a better person than we were first led to believe is his honor code. Meta Knight will never fight Kirby without first giving the pink hero a weapon, even to the point of not starting the fight until Kirby is made to take the sword provided. This does not speak of a character corrupted by power or ambitions, but instead of an honorable warrior that seeks to meet his rivals on equal footing. From then on, Meta Knight is presented in a far more favorable light. For example, in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, Meta Knight literally gives his master sword to Kirby to help him face the Dark Mind and Dark Core. This is once again not the behavior of a compromised character focused on his own desires, but a downright hero. If you're enjoying this video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to Rebel Culture. We have tons of Kirby and other content that I am sure you'll love. But now, let's continue with the video. I believe that the answer about Meta Knight's morality is not black and white. Meta Knight seems to be a character that seeks to be the most powerful swordsman in the entire universe, and it is therefore drawn to challenge against the most powerful beings in the universe. We know this because in Kirby Superstar Ultra, when the player completes the sub-genre Meta Knight Ultra, Meta Knight is seen wishing to fight the most powerful being in the universe, which leads to the appearance of Galacta Knight. Once he has defeated him, he becomes the most powerful being in the existing universe. It does not get much clearer than this. When presented with a possibility to wish into existence anything he wants, Meta Knight chooses a challenge. This fits with the fact that he always provides Kirby with a sword prior to a fight, since he wants to make sure that they are on equal footing and is not fighting an unarmed rival. I believe that throughout their time together in many games, Meta Knight comes to respect Kirby quite a bit. And that is why in other games in the future, like Star Allies and Return to Dreamland, he is a willing partner to the pink hero. It is very difficult to truly uncover the desires of a character as enigmatic as Meta Knight. On the one hand, he seems to have fully transformed and left behind those days of conquest that we saw during the Revenge of Meta Knight. But on the other, the notion of the masked warrior to be constantly looking for a challenge is somewhat unnerving. The inciting incident of most of Kirby's games is something disturbing the natural peace of Planet Popstar and Dreamland. It might be the invasion of Nightmare, or a cosmic enemy stealing the hearts of its inhabitants, like we see in Star Allies. Kirby himself seems to be a character that is not inherently violent or drawn to challenge. He would generally only do so when pushed by the circumstances of his world being threatened. He represents in many ways the other side of the coin to Meta Knight. While I don't believe that Meta Knight is a villain, I do believe he is a very different brand of hero from our pink puffball. Kirby is a simple being. Kirby is even described as such in his first appearance, indicating that he eats when he's hungry and sleeps when he gets tired. The definition of a character that does not seek challenge for its own sake. He will fight, but only to return to the natural state of harmony that he enjoys. Meta Knight, however, welcomes a challenge and actively seeks it out, driven by the desire to gain more power, as we see when he wishes for his confrontation with Galactonite. I don't think that Meta Knight actively acts against the interest of Planet Popstar or Dreamland, as he used to in Revenge of Meta Knight, but a being that beckons conflict will inevitably find it. So is the nature of our universe. In the words of Vision in Civil War, our very strength invites challenge. Challenge incites conflict, and conflict breeds catastrophe. Meta Knight becomes the most powerful being in the universe when he defeats Galactonite. So him habitating in a naturally peaceful world like Popstar might be driving some of the challenges that inevitably find Kirby and friends, as the cosmic monsters that are the final bosses of these games hear of Meta Knight's powers and his desires to constantly find worthy adversaries. And that is all we have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, click the like button and consider subscribing to Rebel Culture. We have content on Kirby that you might enjoy, like the cosmic horror of the series, or what if some Kirby enemies were Pokemon. So, that being said, remember to click the bell icon to remain informed when we drop new videos, and I will see you in the next one.